27th Street and what is now Park Avenue South was the home of a railroad passenger depot that was relocated to 42nd Street in 1871 to the new Grand Central Depot, later known as Grand Central Terminal. Steam-powered trains were not permitted to operate without equine assistance below 42nd Street. So, before 1871, horses would have to pull trains down what was then known as 4th Avenue and is now known as Park Avenue above 32nd Street or Park Avenue South below it. Once Grand Central was opened, rendering the 27th Street Depot obsolete, showman P.T. Barnum leased the rickety depot from railroad magnate Cornelius Vanderbilt. Barnum surrounded the depot with a 28-foot brick wall, inside created a 425 by 200-foot open-air arena with tenting put up on rainy days, and promoted circuses and other shows. Barnum called it Barnum's Monster Classical and Geological Hippodrome, and for brevity, the Great Roman Hippodrome. In 1876, a bandleader, Patrick Gilmore, took over the lease. The renamed facility, Gilmore's Concert Garden, in 1877 hosted, among other events, the first Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show, then titled the first annual New York Bench Show. Gilmore saw sports events as a potential moneymaker for the building. After Cornelius Vanderbilt died in 1877, his grandson, William K. Vanderbilt, agreed that the venue should be primarily a place for sports and other entertainment. He took control of the facility, which he renamed Madison Square Garden, as it was located diagonally across the street from Madison Square Park. The garden was opened with a ceremony on Decoration Day, now known as Memorial Day, on May 30th, 1879, and with a concert the following evening. Even in those early days, the garden attracted numerous sports events, including track and field meets and boxing matches. Fewer than 4 months after the venue was opened, during an era when pedestrianism was a big draw, a packed house watched a 4-man, 6-day walking race. An Englishman, Charles Roll, won, covering 530 miles, more than the distance from Manhattan to Pittsburgh. Roll was reported to have won $28,000, at a time the average American worker's earnings were less than $500 a year. Garden number 1 lasted about a decade. By then, Vanderbilt was able to raise sufficient money from J.P. Morgan and other business leaders to replace the garden with one more in line with the neighborhood, which was drawing more upscale businesses and residences. In fact, a major force behind the construction of the second garden was the National Horse Show Association, which held its first show in 1883 and was happy to help underwrite the building of a new arena in which its show could be held annually. And if it could be used for other events, so much the better. Opened on June 16, 1890, the second garden filled the entire block from 26th to 27th Streets and from Madison to what was then 4th Avenue, where the gold-crowned New York Life building now stands.